here, while in, let me call this perfect competition, this monopolistically competitive firm, their demand curve is downward sloping like monopoly. Okay, let's move forward. So if you understand the concept or the discussion till now, so you will be able to answer this concept checker. So I want to test that whether you understand perfectly or everybody is on, on the same page. So let's talk about this concept checker. So because monopolistically competitive firms produce differentiated products, each firm, now I'm going to ask Rodrigo, what is the answer here? Pinyo?
I think it's A.
Okay. David?
Oh, the answer's popped up, sir.
Right? The answer is D, not A. Why? Because let me tell you, whenever you start reading this question, please highlight which market you are talking about. So here, the market you are talking about is monopolistically competitive firm. So remember, when there is a monopolistically competitive firm, their demand curve is downward sloping, right? So when the demand curve is downward sloping, then what is the answer here? Their faces demand curve horizontal, answer is no. Their faces a vertical demand, answer is no. They have no control over the price, answer is no. Because they have downward sloping curve in which in this case they have control over price. Now question is how they can control the price. Because their demand curve is downward sloping, right? So they can choose where to produce. If they want to produce here, then price would be here, right? So if they want to produce here, their price would be, they need to lower down the price, right? So in that way, they influence the price, right? In other words, they are trying to say they have downward sloping curve. Answer would be D. Right, Pinyo? Understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's move forward. Now the short run scenario of monopolistically competitive firm. Let's talk about this. So like in our perfect competition, all the conditions are the same. The short run analysis of the perfectly competitive firm is that they can have the economic profit. Yes, they can have, right? Similarly, with the monopolistically competitive firm, in short run, they have the economic profit. Yes. In the long run, they would be earning zero economic profit like perfect competition. So let's talk about the short run economic profits. So the short run economic profits, a short run analysis of the monopolistically competitive firm is that the short run economic profits they encourages because when price is greater than every total cost, this is the entry condition, right? So it causes new firms to enter the market. When price is greater than every total cost, it triggers the entry condition, new firms, they started entering the market. Then what happened? They will supply their goods as well. When they supply their goods as well, then number of products offered, it increases, right? And due to increase in the number of products, which means supply increases, it causes reduced demand. Why? Because now people have more options. If one company increases its price or didn't consider its competitor's price, people will switch from high price to low price, right? So which causes decreased demand faced by the companies already in the market. So those who are already in the market, their demand will decrease. Already in the market, their demand decreased because new firms increases the supply, right? So what happened to the demand curve? Demand curve shifts to the left, right? Entered of a new firm, demand curve shifts to the left, demand curve decreases, demand for the firm's product falls, and their profit declines. What's going on, right? You were thinking right that. So let's understand this with graphical analysis. That would be very easy for you to deduce all these points here. So let's talk about this. Short run analysis when the firms makes profits. So first of all, I think before this one, let me make here white screen. We already know that U-shaped curve is ATC. MC crosses the ATC at its minimum. And due to the downward facing demand curves, the price curve is like this, or demand curve, and MR is, recall our discussion, MR is below the price and it can be negative. Okay, so where they need to produce? The same answer for every market discussion. MC is equal to MR. Where they need to produce? This black and this dark blue. Why we find out these conditions? Because to find out Q max. When you want to find out Q max, the production cost of Q max is on the every total cost curve. And what is the value here? You can find out the value. This is ATC. And what should be the price of producing this Q max on the price line? So you draw. Here we go. This is the price. So if I name these points, that would be A, B, C, and D. So this A, B, C, D, this is called profit, right? So have we learned the same structure somewhere else? Exactly in Monopoly, right? If you pay close attention, so these curves exactly look like Monopoly analysis. So let's talk about this. So this is the demand curve or price curve. Less than demand curve, there is MR. And this is the MC and ATC. So where MC is equal to MR? On this point. Why we find out this point? Because we want to find out Q max, profit maximizing quantity. To produce this Q max, the price would be on price line. And what is the cost of producing the Q max? It's on the ATC, which is here. So this rectangular shaded area here, the light blue, this is called profit, right? This same analysis of Monopoly as well. So we can say that in short run, when there is a profit, monopolistically competitive firm exactly behave like monopoly. Marilyn, understand?
Yes.
Miria, Naam, Pinyo,
Yes.
Osama, Subhan, Jacob, Isaac, Kim,
Yeah.
Tijoli,
Yep.
Right? You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's talk about here. So what is the reason here? Now let's repeat that one. Whenever there is a short-run economic profit, which means price greater than every total cost, new firms will enter the market, which causes increased in supply of the products. When supply increases, price decreases. When price decreases, it means it will shift price decrease because of number of new firms. So it shifts the demand curve to the left side. And what happened?
So I have a question.
Yes.
So we know that non-price determines is which shifts the curve of the demand. So did the price fall because the demand curve shifted to the left,
No.
or the price fall because of?
Recall our discussion regarding shift in demand curve. What is the shift and what is the movement? When the reason is just price, we call that we don't need to draw a new demand curve.
Yeah, it
When
just
the
follows
reason
along the line.
Whenever the reason is not price, some other factor like here, new entrant firm, other factors causes decrease in price, causes
I have-
reduce in demand curve. So demand shift to the left. That's why we talk about
Okay.
shift, right?
I thought I heard like the demand curve shifted because of the fall in the price, so I got confused.
No,
a
no,
little
no,
bit.
no, no.
All right.
Okay. So that, the rule is same over there as well. So I'm just talking about here. Whenever there is a short-run economic profit, what happened to this profit? This will wipe out after some time. Why? Because price greater than every total cost. So it's not like that. The firms in monopolistically competitive firms, they enjoy unlimited short-run economic profit. No, my dear. Why? Because price is greater than every total cost, and there is, if I can just show you here the characteristics, and that is there is free entry and exit, right? We discussed that. Whenever there is price greater than every total cost, new firms enter the market. And when new firm enter the market, the existing firm, those who are already enjoying the profit, their profits start decreasing. Why? Because now there are more options, more products available to the customers, and they don't want to pay you high prices. They will shift to those companies who are offering them lower prices. So in that case, this condition started to wipe off or back to normal, which is price is equal to average total cost, right? So whenever we talk about short-run economic profit, so in short-run economic profit, the analysis exactly look like monopoly. And then losses. So recall our discussion. Do we have a loss situation in monopoly? Marilyn, do we have a loss situation in monopoly? Marilyn,
Yes.
do we have a loss situation in monopoly?